For my lesson sequence, I was able to take the Year 8s at McKellen College through their very first introduction to mental health in a health class. To begin this topic off, as the Year 8s had never done any topics on mental health before, I created the first lesson as an introduction to different mental health conditions that are prevalent within Australia, and to lead a discussion on what the students think mental health is. This was designed to give me a good idea of what the students' current knowledge of mental health already was in going forwards, and to give them a brief background to each mental health condition that I wanted them to investigate in the coming lessons. This was done by creating a class definition for what is mental health, after looking through a PowerPoint on prevalent mental health conditions in Australia and what it can mean to the individuals. To supplement this, we watched a YouTube video of a TED Talk called Living with a Mental Health Condition, which was a personal account of a young man experiencing a mental health condition and the barriers he faced in talking to his family and what he felt like he could do and where he could find help. The reason I used that video is to give a bit of background to show that a normal person can be affected by a mental health condition and you might not know that they're suffering from this, and that's why it's important for people to be able to find help easily. The end of this lesson gave an introduction to Wix, which is a website that allows you to create a website for free, because the next lesson we're going to be moving into the computer labs, where I wanted the students to create a website for themselves that gives information in the form of almost a fact sheet of one mental health condition they select to research. Pedagogy base I chose for this lesson sequence was inquiry-based learning theory, which is a constructivist approach. For this reason, I wanted students to be conducting their own research and finding out about the topic themselves, and using that information to create a website, which is the way that I really believe helps students learn, rather than just copying down information that I provide from the PowerPoint. In completing this topic for advanced students, I was going to get them to also pick the most critical information from their website to create an infographic using the website Canva to make a poster. So the lesson sequence progression was: first lesson as an introduction within the classroom, as we only had 2 lessons to use the computers the following lessons. So my lesson outcome and indicators were: students understand prevalence of mental health conditions, difference between different mental health conditions, basic symptoms, and how to access online information, improving their health literacy. That's what I wanted them to learn from the lesson sequence. And as you can see here in the lesson plan, first lesson's an introduction. Lesson 2 and 3 we had the opportunity to go into the computer labs, and that's where I have the provided government websites for them to research on mental health conditions. So what I wanted from the students is to engage in a class discussion in the first lesson, conduct their own research using the websites provided, and create an information resource in the form of a website on their one mental health condition they choose, and then they'll be sharing this website with the free time in the second lesson. If completing this, create an infographic with Canva to make a poster form of critical information. And the picture on the right is the computer setup we have in the library, which you can see is quite a good setup for the teacher to see what's happening on the screen. The HITS strategies that I selected to focus on was explicit teaching. So students were given very clear instructions on what they're doing, and they were given a sheet with the 3 basic things that they were to provide on their website. And the second one was collaborative learning and inclusion. I wanted to target this HITS strategy by getting students to share their websites at the end of the lesson sequence with their spare time so they could research each other's mental health condition, and using content descriptors from Year 8 curriculum for health. Formative assessment for this task was conducted through discussion in the first class to find out where students were at, and by myself walking around the computer lab, seeing where students are at and talking to them, seeing if they needed any help, if I needed to make the task easier or give them the advanced option. Summative formative assessment was my own assessing of their finished product in terms of the website. This is a student work example. The Wix website creates a very professional looking website very easily with their templates, which I found motivated the students even further when they saw that their product was looking so good. The feedback from them was that they wanted more time to make the website complete and finished looking. That's one for anxiety. Outcomes from this task. The initial knowledge students had a kind of what you would expect, a basic understanding of depression and anxiety, two well-known mental health conditions, but need a little bit of direction for other ones. Working in the computer lab was really effective. It could be distracting at times when I saw students using games, which is expected, but the teacher can manage that. The digital product outcome was, I found overall quite accurate, with lower students just lacking a bit of information. Could have used a bit more time perhaps. We only had 2 lessons in the computer lab. And by talking to students at the end of the lesson sequence, I got the feedback that they really enjoyed using computers.